What's up guys, and welcome back to another Crown Racing Co. YouTube video. In today's video, we're going to be installing long tube headers and an X-pipe on my 1997 C5 Corvette drift car. So you guys can see that we have the Speed Engineering exhaust on my left, and then we have the stock Corvette exhaust here on the right. So the Corvette comes with some pretty well designed shorty headers. Speed Engineering, I think, is an affordable long tube header and X-pipe package. The reason why I chose Speed Engineering though is because they still deliver high quality products. So these headers are perfect for lowered cars like my drift Corvette because they tuck up nice and close to the engine and the bottom of the car. You also can see how thick the manifold flange is. This is not going to warp.
I mean, and they look like it's really good quality. The welds are all the way through. They're the right temperature. They got the penetration.
Proof. So really quick, let's do a side comparison here. The Speed Engineering long tube headers have a 1 7/8 diameter runner size, ID. And to be honest, I don't really know what the ID is of the stock one, but I can tell you it's smaller than the 1 7/8 diameter runners here. And you can obviously see that they're long tube headers. So this is gonna allow the car to breathe a lot better, and it's gonna make way more torque higher up in the RPM, which is perfect for drifting. Speed Engineering has that additional O2 port for a aftermarket wideband, which I will show you guys later in this video. We decided to also get an AEM wideband. So we'll plug that in right here, and then you do 2 of your upstream O2 sensors here, and you just get rid of the downstream O2 sensors. You basically just tune them out. So the X-pipe for me is like the most important part because this is what's gonna give that LS1 that LS sound. The LS engines have a very unique firing order, and that's why they sound different than most V8s. So a big 3-inch X-pipe like this allows both banks of cylinders to talk to each other, and they can exhaust scavenge from each other as well. So this also helps increase flow, increase power. So right after we do this exhaust install, I'm going to give you guys sound clips of what this exhaust with my MagnaFlow Axleback exhaust sounds like. Friendly reminder that if you own a 1997 to 2000 Corvette, I believe, the dipstick will not be compatible with those headers. You guys saw the old exhaust, you saw the new exhaust. I obviously am already 20–30% into the project. Let's look at the stock header mark. So what GM did is they have an air pump that pumps air into both headers. If you're doing this, remember that you also need to remove this air pump system. And that air pump goes right down here in this lower corner. And now
that's
where all this junk is.
It's sitting right here on the floor.
Enough talking. Let's get into this install.
Do you think you could do this at home, average Joe?
Yeah, anybody can do this. Anyone with determination and discipline can do this. If you give up easily, don't do it because it's more time consuming than difficult, but it's time consuming. Also, we do have to reuse this rear portion of the exhaust. So the X-pipe is gonna end somewhere right around here. So I do have to cut my original stock exhaust somewhere right around here. We're gonna reuse the stock spring hangers that mount to the T56 transmission. And then this is gonna go back to the MagnaFlow Axleback. So just keep that in mind. Don't just pitch this right away. You also have to cut this off and use it with this new system. right, guys, we are making great progress. Not gonna lie, it's a couple days later. It's just hard balancing life and this big of a project, but so here's the consensus. The passenger side was easier to feed the header from the top down. The driver side, I had to conform, and I did exactly what everybody else did on the internet. I had to loosen the engine mount, jack the engine up just enough, basically to the point to where it was hitting the top of the firewall there. And then the driver side header was way easier to feed from the bottom up. So then once I got the header in there, I put the narrowband O2 sensor and zip tied those cables out of the way. And it's a little hard to see, but I got brand new Iridium spark plugs in. I got Speed Engineering spark plug cables and some Texas Speed fiberglass heat shields for those cables. They're not touching the long tube header runners, but they are very, very close to them. So I got those heat shields on them just to help prevent me from melting that rubber and ruining those new cables. All right, guys, check this out. We got the headers on for the passenger side of the car. We got a brand new starter on, the air conditioning, pulleys and belts, and now this long tube header is on. So I'm not sure if I showed you guys this yet, but instead of buying a new dipstick, what I decided to do was just modify the bracket. I still need to get a new O-ring, so I'm gonna go to the store and get a new O-ring before I put this in, like, completely. But you can still slip it right in, right into the block, and you guys can see that it's gonna go right there. So eventually I will bolt this in, you can see right there. But I need an O-ring. So that's done. I also got the narrowband O2 sensor on the header. So at this late in the game, we are getting to the point now to where we're gonna put those extended downpipes on and connect the X pipe underneath the car and start to get the rest of the exhaust all fitted up. We got those mid pipes put in. Let me crawl under here so you guys can get a better shot. So here are the headers coming down. The headers connect to these mid pipes, and I have my AEM wideband plugged in right there. The mid pipes connect to this beautiful X pipe, and then the X pipe goes all the way down and connects to the old H pipe ends, and I am reusing those spring exhaust hangers that connect to the transmission. So you can see them tucked up there a little bit. So I had one of my buddies TIG weld these. So I knew those were gonna leak. So I TIG welded that portion, but I used the 3-inch clamps on the rest of the exhaust. So then obviously the exhaust connects to my MagnaFlow axle back exhaust. You can see it connected right there. So we are about to cross the finish line. So you guys probably just saw that we removed the second sensor, the second O2 sensor. So you have bank 1 and bank 2, and the C5 Corvette stock comes with 2 O2 sensors on each bank. They're both narrow bands. So you have sensor 1 and sensor 2. So what I did, because I have HP tuners, is I came in here really quick, and you go to the engine diag tab, and right here, these are all of the different sensors in the car, and you can control what causes a failure or an error message. So since I no longer have the second O2 sensor in bank 1 and 2, I came in here and removed them from my list. Thank you, D, for showing me how to do this.
What was that? Who knows?
AFR gauge is working. That's great. And how's that look for idle? You're the tuner. 14?
It's a little rich.
14.7, right? And
yeah.
Then what you want, 12.5 at wide open throttle?
It depends. They're just not. You'll get shots later.
We'll that later. So oil pressure still exists. That's great. Fuel temp low.
One of the new tensioner pulleys has a little squeak to it.
So you just gotta wear in a bit. So I
No
want
oil leaks? Nothing? Looks okay.
Looks all right. I need to get a light. So I want to make sure that my O2 sensor harness isn't gonna just burn up. I tried to zip tie it out of the way from the headers, but I want to keep an eye on that. It's louder.
It definitely has that X pipe.
It needs a tune. It's lean as titties.
It definitely has that X pipe, like the closeness, sharpness to it. It sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
It's a little rich. Eyes are watering.
It needs a tune, for sure. But that's it. We took a lot of things apart and we put it all together without catastrophe. It started right up. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a quick one. I kind of just chopped it up. I didn't want to bore you. If you did like the video, make sure to take a second to like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to us and it lets us know that you liked the video. And then in the next video, we're gonna do a bunch of driving and we'll get some exhaust clips of the new exhaust. Stay tuned for the rest of the summer content. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.